Hi guys, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm so glad you're here with us. So I did a video yesterday, if you haven't seen it yet, on my inside out spine. It was a tutorial, and I realized after I had edited and uploaded the video that I left out a very important part. There was something I needed to tell you and I didn't do it in that video, and it's kind of important. And so I am just back this morning to do a quick little update on that and let you know a couple things. This won't be very long, I promise. So basically, if you haven't watched that video yet, go watch that one. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You can watch this one first and get the added information and then go back and watch that one and kind of put it together. But so basically I figured it out after I had already sewn in the signatures on this one, but we used cardstock to hold everything together, right? So everything is literally hinging on a single piece of cardstock. That is not going to hold up over time. If you've ever folded paper multiple times and, done that when you don't have a pair of scissors and you fold the paper multiple times back and forth, it eventually tears, right? Fairly easily. So that's the same kind of thing that's going to happen if you don't do anything to reinforce that hinge, that fold. Okay. So I normally would have done something about that before I sewed everything in, but my brains apparently fell out yesterday and I completely forgot. So I have fixed this one in a perfectly acceptable way. It wouldn't have been the way that I would have originally done it, and I'll show you that on another book here in a second. But basically all I did is I took a piece of fabric and I glued that down along the fold line, along the crease. Okay, so that will give it an extra bit of reinforcement and strength, and that'll help it hold up to multiple openings and closings over time. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I did it to both sides. So just a piece of fabric, any fabric will do, because fabric is much stronger than paper. So that is how I remedied my mistake on this one that we were working on yesterday. So it is all put together now. And I will, I'll do a flip through of that in a couple days. And then this is the point where I realized my mistake was when I got to this point of this book. So I had done the outer spine and I had attached everything, and I realized, oh my gosh, again, one single piece of cardstock holding all of this together. So luckily I figured it out before I had sewn anything in or attached the inner spine. So it's much easier at this point to fix. Now, had I done it properly, I would have done this step before I attached this piece in, if that makes sense, okay? But it's perfectly fine to do it at this point. Basically what I have is the same piece of cardstock cut to the exact same dimensions, okay? And I lined it with a piece of Tyvek. Now, this is not, you can buy Tyvek on Amazon. This was a priority mail envelope that I received, and I just cut it apart because it's the same material. This stuff, let me show you. This stuff is completely, it's like indestructible. You can't, no matter what you do, unless you use a pair of scissors, you are not going to be able to tear through this. Okay, so this is the perfect material to use to reinforce your spine. Okay, so I glued this along the inside here. That's all I did. Now I need to do my score lines. Now, the reason that I said I would have done this ahead of time is what I would have done is I would have sandwiched this between these two pieces, then scored it so that I would be sure that they were both scored in exactly the same spot then I would have put it all together. I hope that makes sense. I apologize sincerely for not doing this properly the first time. But I think you get the idea. So normally I would have taken the 2 pieces of cardstock, sandwiched the Tyvek in between, then scored it, then glued it down. But for now, I need to score this, you know, separately because I've already done that and it's already glued in. So I do remember where my scores were, I hope. But yeah, I do. It was, I believe, was it here or was it here? It was here. Okay, so it was 1 3/4 from the center. So we will just score this again. And of course I scored it on the wrong side. I went through that whole thing yesterday and told you about scoring, and then I did it wrong. I think this tutorial is not meant to be. I think that is becoming increasingly clear because we want this to fold the other way. Okay, so 1 3/4 from the center. All right, so we've got that scored. Hopefully it is correct. I feel like it could very well be not correct. Nope. It's perfect. It lines up perfectly. So I'll go ahead and make my folds so it'll fold better once it's glued down. And then I'm going to line this up as best I can and glue it on here. So I'm not going to do that on camera because you don't need to watch me glue that. So again, just line it with something very, very strong. You know, this is what I use. If I have the priority mail envelopes, I'm gonna have to just buy some Tyvek because it is my favorite if I'm using cardstock to attach my spine. Now, if you're using fabric for this step here, if this is going to be fabric, you don't need to do any of this because the fabric is going to hold up and it'll be fine. It's not going to be a problem. This is only necessary if you're using cardstock or paper of any kind. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So this will be glued in and then it will hinge properly and that Tyvek will hold up forever. It's never going to tear. Okay? I hope that helps. I feel like I've probably created a lot of questions and maybe even confused you further. I really hope I haven't. Please let me know in the comments if you need anything, if you have any questions. I would love to help you. And if I need to just redo this whole tutorial to help even just one person, I will do that. But I at least wanted to get this out there because I don't have time to do the whole tutorial again today. Okay, I hope that helps. So yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a fantastically blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye.